Romans 12:12. Be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, faithful in prayer. The art of patience. Patience teaches us self-control. It helps us make better choices instead of always rushing to the desired outcome that you want. And I'm sure plenty of times in your life, you've rushed certain things, whether it be a relationship, whether it be a spouse, having to do something, let's say getting a new job soon, or just anything in general, really. We rush things all the time. But have you ever sat down and asked yourself, was there ever a time where you were patient, where you actually chose the road of being patient? We always look at, when you step back and look at life, you always look at what you do want or what you do want to achieve. But have you ever thought about the opportunity and the chance to just be patient, when there's a storm? So this leads me to patience builds stronger results in your life. Not just in, again, getting that desired outcome, but also the different areas of your life that you may not even think about. So just take your time. The outcome is often better when you're patient. When you rush things, that's when mistakes happen. That's when certain errors and afflictions happen to your mental, to your body, to your physical, your spiritual, and so on. So rushing things sometimes isn't the best bet to do. You might want that the big outcome, of course, fast and immediately, but I think that's what makes life more pleasurable when you realize that, it takes time to achieve something good. It takes time to reap a harvest or some fruit that's actually worth eating, that's actually worth planting on a tree and digging in the ground or uprooting the roots. So yes, patience is a form of strength. It shows inner peace and confidence within you. It doesn't show weakness. Weakness usually stems from a point of moving fast, talking fast, doing something to a point where you didn't calculate or analyze what you were doing or thinking about. Patience really shows that you actually took a chance to think about your outcome. You took a chance to think about the effect, the cause and effect of what you're going to say, what you're going to do, and what you're going to eat. Anything, really. So patience is a form of strength. Little do you know. There's a lot of times where you can go on social media and look at people just fighting each other, and there's always a person that wants to, get their get back, get their, back in blood signature all over everything. But that's not always the answer. Sometimes the answer is just being patient and realizing, I'm more mature than you, but I'm also stronger than you mentally and physically, maybe. But that shows, that you are more than capable of weathering any storm in the future. If you can combat someone, belittling you, then you are meant for something great in the future. Patience means waiting without getting upset. It's about staying calm when things do happen. See how my paper just flew away and I stayed calm? I just had to go get it back. But it's about staying calm when things do happen in your life. This life is always unfair, and it's plenty of things that drive me crazy today. And I think just the best overall reward is realizing that you accomplish what many people couldn't. You accomplish something that people would freak out about or spaz over about, but you did it. You should always pat yourself on the back and realize that you're making progress to a person that you want to be further on in life. So this leads me to part 2. Good things take time again. Whether it's learning a skill, growing a plant, or reaching a goal, patience helps us get there. Anything you look at in life, how a car is built, how trees are created and how they grow, how a phone is configured, how a bed is configured, whether you're in a car or doing anything, looking at this video currently, everything takes time. It takes a vision. It takes a vision. It takes a design. It takes creativity. It takes a lot more than just the plain, I need to rush and get this out. You want to always look at life from more of a bigger perspective and not just your own. And so for this reason, when we're in this kind of frame of mind, patience makes us less stressed. If we don't rush or get angry, life feels a lot easier. Everything feels a lot easier to just be in the moment and not have to stress about reaching that end goal or reaching to get to a certain level. When you realize that, you are capable of getting to that goal, and, sometimes you may not even feel capable of getting to that goal, but realizing that you're in this certain level or you're in this certain moment for a certain reason, that will lead you to many doors opening in the long run that you may have not realized if you just rushed throughout the process. So patience helps in relationships. Being patient with others shows kindness and understanding. Again, this goes back to my point of showing strength. It's not always about the person that afflicts you realizing that you are strong and you don't retaliate. Sometimes it's the people around that person. Sometimes it's social media. Sometimes it could be a spouse, parents, or family. Showing your character not just for the person at hand, but for everyone around you is bigger than anything else that you can do when going through that certain trial. The fifth thing I would say is you can practice patience every day. Again, like waiting in line, listening without interrupting, or working step by step on a task. These are some simple things that we do in life that we just don't realize, whether it's just hopping in a convo and having a conversation with someone, or just being in line at a drive-through, or ordering something online like a book or something from Amazon. Little things like that really contribute to what you're going to do in the long run and the actions you're going to take when being patient. So practice the little things today and realize that you can, tie it up with the bow tie every single day to reach that big outcome of just being patient throughout your life. Now, so yes, patience is a virtue, and patience is, an asset that many people may not have, but you can have it. But you also have to realize that patience also isn't everything. You have to learn to read between the lines and play your part of getting a desired outcome. So sometimes you have to be fast. Sometimes you have to be swift on your feet and realize that, if you don't make this action today, there may not be a desired outcome you want tomorrow. So for that reason, calculate the risk, calculate what's going to happen if you don't move swiftly. I'm not saying do not be patient, but what I'm saying is understand the moment and understand the steps and the feet that you step in today. So to leave you off with just a closing, Ecclesiastes 7 and 8, the end of a matter is better than its beginning, and patience is better than pride. Pride kills everything in this world, and the beginning of something only shows the greatness of how much you can achieve and learn towards the end. So I just want to say thank you for your time today, and I'm happy that you tuned in. I hope you have a great day. My name is Lennox. Please subscribe, and I'll produce more of this constantly, and we'll keep it going. See you soon.